Mike, you said something very, very wise, and it is so, so true, which is as to the NFL owners you referenced. As I often phrase it, competitors on the field, colleagues off the field.
Yeah. It's interesting, right? Because, Jeffrey Lurie and Jerry Jones want to beat each other in the worst way twice a year, actually 3 times a year. They'd love to see each other in the playoffs and go for the sweep. And Philly's always watching Dallas and Washington and the Giants and everyone within, whether it's regional or divisional setups, are doing that. But when they close the doors at these owners' meetings, they walk down the hallway and make the turn behind the velvet ropes and they sit down and do their deal. Like, they're in business together. They got to figure out what's the next best step for our league and for our team. And Amy, you had the front row seat at this. I find it fascinating that sometimes what's best for your team is not best for the league, may benefit you financially down the line as a franchise. And what do you do with those points?
And, Robert Kraft is an owner who routinely put what is best for the league ahead of what was best for his team. I saw that, as you said. I was in those meetings. I was there for almost 30 years, and there were innumerable times I saw Robert Kraft, and he was not the only team owner to do this, but he put ahead of his own interests the good of the league. And what a lot of people don't realize as to Al Davis, yes, there were major business disputes between the league and the Raiders, and I need to always turn into the 8-year-old that I am when I talk about this and say, but Mom, they started it. They filed the lawsuit.
Right.
I just always have to add they started it. But the point is, notwithstanding those very significant business disputes, Al collaborated and cooperated with the league and team owners in many instances during those disputes as to what was best for the league. You're absolutely right.
And Amy, I think it's one of the fascinating things of the next 10 years in the league, because we had the Maras and the Rooneys and still do with the Giants and the Steelers, and Al Davis. Now Mark is taking over with the Raiders. But as we see with family ownership and the next generation having a louder voice as the patriarchs of those families get a bit older, it's an interesting time to see how will that evolve. Who will be those large voices? Because the voices of Jerry Jones and Robert Kraft, those were the loudest voices and most influential, and still are in many ways. And who will be the individuals who step into that void a little bit? Because there are a lot of really, really great people who have helped build the league, and a lot of brilliant people in those rooms. I mentioned Jeffrey Lurie, Clark Hunt, obviously inheriting the team after working side by side with his dad, Lamar Hunt, for so many years. So it's what's happening in Seattle, I think, will be a fascinating ownership story to watch over the next couple of years.
Check out new episodes of What the Football with Suzy Shuster and Amy Trask every Tuesday. Watch us on the Rich Eisen Show YouTube page or follow and listen wherever you get your podcasts.